I like the different ideas you had, gamification, discount, getting notifications early, shopping on the go, and then you tied those back to each of the segments. What feedback do I have to make it even better? Maybe provide just a little bit of macro perspective and micro perspective. This is what I
Okay.
mean. So macro level, thank you, Andres, for joining and doing the mock interview. Let's assume I'm interviewing you for a product marketing role at Etsy. My first question is, can you just tell me about yourself?
Of course, a little bit about myself, Henry. I started my career in the marketing agency world, getting my hands on some brands such as Asana, the Canadian Football League, Everything Wine, and Jostle, where I currently work. So whether it's been in-house or in agency, I've been able to work with some really cool brands and experiences that have prepared me to be here with you chatting about Etsy. So I started my career in agency, working a lot on social media management, social media strategy, working on growing clients' followings, and ensuring that there was a lot of conversions to their different stores or articles, readership, video views, and so on. And then I pivoted to becoming a performance marketing strategist at Thrive. That's where I worked on the major brands that I've worked on, like Asana, Everything Wine, and I worked on a lot of B2B and B2C clients, and I managed to wear a lot of hats. So that's where I managed to work with a lot of the different platforms like Google Ads, Meta Ads, TikTok, and you name it. So I managed budgets of upwards to 950K per month, working around lead generation, customer acquisition, customer retention, sorry, go to market with features, as well as product launches on the software side of things. So I managed to do a lot of different things with different clients all at once. Now, in my current role as a digital marketing lead at Jostle, I execute and oversee all of our paid and lead generation efforts across brand and lead generation for Google Ads, Bing, LinkedIn, and Gartner. So I ensure that our voice is just consistent across all markets, ensuring we're getting the right type of leads, nurturing the current leads, and driving brand awareness across the markets, while also overseeing the messaging and positioning for different product launches and feature launches, and working with sales and product to get that to life. Outside of work, you find me on my bike. I love road cycling. I like the local races to Whistler, from here to Vancouver to Whistler. I also love snowboarding, so you'll see me on the slopes. I mentioned that earlier. And then summers, I love paddleboarding. I also really love traveling. I most recently was in Hawaii and Montreal and Colombia, where I'm from. So it's always nice to see new places and visit family. Outside of that, just really excited to be here with you today. And all these different experiences and tools I've had my hands on have just really equipped me with the abilities to bring a great addition to the product marketing team here at Etsy. Thanks again, Henry.
Great. I'll share feedback after the next question.
Perfect.
So,
Yeah.
why product marketing?
Yeah, I've always been really involved in just business strategy and just being able to dissect things and bring them to life. I did a lot of case competitions in university, and that really excites me, working together to bring a common goal to life. So I find that product marketing being the intersection of sales, product, customers, and marketing, I find that being able to work with many different teams to bring different things to life is somewhere where I really thrive. And that's why I really like being in-house, to be able to work on from A to Z, whether it's a product launch, a feature launch, or just a new campaign. So in my current role at Jostle, I've been able to really use data-driven approaches to bring things to life, whether it's tailoring messaging, especially with our paid ads, making sure that we're targeting the right audiences, but also just working with different teams to bring those things together. It's been a lot of fun. So I really am enticed to work with as a product marketer and bring all those things to life. And I find that personally, having come from the digital marketing background, it's given me a lot of different insights and tools that I could use as a product marketer to get that extra edge and really bring things to life by working with product sales and customer retention, customer success teams to launch products that stay in the market, succeed in the market, and bring value to real users.
Awesome. Yeah, so feedback.
Yeah.
You did a good job of encapsulating your experience as a whole. It was easy to follow. I also really like that you talked about your hobbies outside work. I think that gives me a more of a personal insight into who you are as a person. The main feedback I have that would make the answer even better, more polished, would be to be a little more focused on your linear journey, because I think you talked a lot about performance marketing and
Okay.
different LinkedIn, TikTok, all of that. So I think if you just made that a little more compact, you say, hey,
Okay.
I've done my background is performance marketing. I've managed big budgets, all the major channels. Then quickly pivot from there to why product marketing. So you can be
Okay.
like, as part of my job, I really enjoy the cross-functional aspect of work. And
Okay.
through that, I learned that I can bring my skills to help with the go-to-market aspect better. So you focus
Hmm.
on one thing. This is the one aspect I really enjoy about product marketing. And then
Hmm.
you pivot back to Etsy or this role. You can be
Okay.
like, hey, this is why I'm interested in product marketing and why product marketing would be a great fit for me.
Okay. Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Can you tell me about a time when you uncovered a key customer insight?
Yeah, looking at different key customer insights at Jostle, I really just made sure that I looked into our current customers that were more active because I found out that those customers that not only they're more active, they become our champions. So they interact a lot with customer success, they interact a lot with sales, and they're always in the mix, in the loop with new product launches and new product features. So definitely noticing those that were more inclined to be vocal about the product. I saw it as an opportunity to listen to them further and use that as ammo for campaigns. So being able to use their insights for our future campaigns, I managed to listen to what they didn't like, listen to what they did, and focus around the pain points that we were solving to create a campaign with that type of messaging. So in order to launch that campaign and listen to them, I just basically compiled, sorry, all of their insights into a campaign and use that for our creative, our messaging, and everything around the landing page to really just message to our customers that were listening, sorry, to our prospects that were listening to our customers. So being able to use that customer feedback and customer overall just sentiments across the market really helped us just capture new leads that resonated better with the messaging that we were giving them because we were using customer insights to give these prospects a better experience in our ads. They felt that they were being heard and we were solving pain points that people are going through right now. So being able to just use that potential that sorry that I'm sorry, using that information to use it as ammo and messaging for prospective leads really helped us. And that actually led to a 21% increase in our lead quality. So just conversion from lead to opportunity. We managed to get better leads that resonated with the messaging a lot better and overall just a better campaign that was more human and was more realistic for these leads. So being able to listen to these customers, break down their key wins with the product and market that was really helpful.
Hmm. Can you tell me more about what was one, how did you uncover the key customer insight?
Yeah.
And then two, what was the insight itself?
Totally. Primarily just looking at the customers' overall just metrics on the platform of how they were using the product. So just time active on the platform, how much were they communicating with sales and with CSMs, whether it's waiting for new product releases or just the amount of emails they were exchanging with CSMs was really just what stood out for me to be able to just look at these five, six customers that were very vocal and were just essentially champions about the product and requested more and more in a positive light from the product. So being able to just break that down, get their testimonials and bring that to market was what really stood out to me for a campaign rather than just thinking about what we think the product is going to solve, instead using just real customer insights to market that.
So the insights were customer feedback or
Cu-
testimonials.
Customer feedback, and then just using that, I managed to gather their testimonials for our campaigns.
So you did interviews with these customers.
That's right, yeah.
Okay. And then what were like some of the key message or the key insights that you were able to translate into the key messages
Yeah,
about?
ease of use of the platform, ease of implementation, alongside just overall reliability and cost. So just being able to break that down in a more human standpoint as opposed to a B2B approach really helped to break down the barriers of communication, as well as just like not making it necessarily an ad, but more so just a more personal touch for the potential customers.
Good. And then what does Jostle do, like
Yeah,
as a company?
we're an internet that is for deskless workers. So we're primarily for manufacturing, fast food, hotels, you name it, just deskless workers that need to be connected but aren't at their computers at all times. So we're very successful all around the manufacturing, the fast food, I said hotels as well as credit unions. So a lot of different states, credit unions, primarily around the United States market.
Got it. So it's like a device or like a,
It's a software. It's like like an app.
oh, got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. You answered the question. I think your initial answer talked a lot about the process, like you uncovered insights and then you use the insights to develop your messaging strategy. I think if you provided one quick context on the company itself, that would be a good
Okay,
starting point.
amazing.
And then the second component would just be what did you actually do? I think if you talked about, hey, I reached out to our top 5 customers, did interviews with them. I think that would be a lot more clear. What did you do? And
Okay,
then the last part is like, what did you uncover? Just talk about, and from those interviews, the main value props were ease of use and whatnot. That
hmm
would be the insight that you were able to uncover.
okay, perfect.
Yeah, just think about context first.
hmm
How did you do it? And
And the
exactly
result.
what was the output or what was the result?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely stumbled there. Thank you though. Appreciate it.
yeah. So
Yeah,
for the next one, think about,
yeah,
yeah, set up the context. What was the
yeah,
problem? How did you
yeah.
solve it? Yeah,
Okay.
cool. Tell me about a time when you had to work with challenging stakeholders. And just to be a little more specific, I would love to know what was the main problem that you had to deal with and how did you overcome that problem and what were the results?
For sure. Working in agency, as you are aware, there's a lot of different expectations from clients. So being able to just manage expectations with clients was my main goal. I dealt with many different clients that had really differing expectations to reality. Now, I had a client that was demanding really high return on ad spend with really ambitious goals on a very short turnaround. So being able to not only manage their expectations and just present them with what is real, with real examples in a similar market, I was able to just not only build trust around just the budget allocations, timelines, and just messaging overall, but also just discussing these things with internal stakeholders alongside the client. It just really created a big layer of patience and trust between myself and the client. And so that enabled me to overall just build an open communication stream and really just highlight the potential trade-offs of that overly ambitious goal. So being able to break that down, align expectations, manage those expectations, and bring a regular campaign to life, I was able to work with the client to bring an overall 450% return on ad spend for that campaign. And that helped us just navigate the overall expectations and bring them back to reality, and then overall just bring a good result for the client.
Yeah, can you tell me more about, okay, they had very unrealistic
Yeah.
expectations. How did you navigate that conversation? What did you bring to convince them that it's better to have realistic expectations?
Yeah, first of all, just hitting the ground running when it comes to a campaign like that wasn't going to work. So just being very aggressive with just the scaling of the ads as well as just the overall messaging of the ads. I just told them like, let's hit a bit of a stop here and let's start easily. Let's start soft. So that's number one. Number two, just overall, the timeline was really aggressive. It was about like a 3-week campaign. So we extended it by doubling the time into 6 weeks just overall to be able to gain insight and iterate based on the messaging. So in order to just gain the insights from the A/B testing, gain insights from the overall just conversion rates and everything, we really had to test. And that way we had the first 3 weeks as a setup kind of period, and then the last 3 weeks as like an iterating period that really helped just refine the overall campaign and showcase to them that we need time to bring this to life. And that way we just create a really good method of communication and goal setting and just overall expectation setting.
Yeah, when you convinced them, what were the proof points that you used?
Yeah.
Did you just say, hey, we need 6 weeks instead of 3, and they were like,
Yeah.
okay, that's fine. Were there any pushback? How
Yeah.
did
In
you
order to,
overcome? Yeah.
for sure, in order to bring that feedback or that evidence to life, I used real life examples from real life clients in similar spaces with real life dollar figures, real life timeline figures, and really just highlighted the differences of a successful campaign and a failed campaign. So that way they could actually relate to that campaign and just really understand that what we're doing had a strategy behind it and it's not just like trivial timelines and overall pushback. So being able to just create that trust by providing real feedback and real results from the past really helped just for them to understand our strategy and just come to just an agreement with the overall expectations and the overall goal.
Got it. So what I'm hearing is that you the problem. Obviously, unrealistic expectation. You're driving alignment. You did that by sitting down with them, showing them previous case studies, and then you're also bringing some sort of customer empathy, and that you don't want them to just waste money and end up with a failed campaign.
That's
Is that the
correct.
gist?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. The feedback here would be zoom in a little more on what was the challenging aspect and how did you overcome that challenging aspect, which is unrealistic expectation. How did you navigate that exactly? Because I think
Hmm.
the initial answer was like it went just straight into,
Oh,
oh,
okay.
it's like a skip over, oh, unrealistic expectation. We set up the campaign like this and then
And
we're done,
solved it. Okay.
right? People want to know, hey, what was the real problem? They want to
Okay.
hear like pushback, and they
Yeah.
want to hear like, how did you overcome those pushbacks?
Okay. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. Maybe we can try one more example. Do you
Yeah.
have an example of where you had to work with a challenging stakeholder internally?
Yeah, let's do it. So, yeah, in the past, working with challenging stakeholders internally, I've worked with just a design team that wasn't really willing to budge on the expectations of a campaign. So essentially, it was ABC campaigns in that order, and then we just had to change the order, say ACB. So, in order to launch those campaigns. So, basically, they were really deep into the design process, and we just had to ask them to pivot. And being so deep in the design process, they weren't unhappy. And then I had to frame it to them as why this new order makes sense and why it's better off for our team and the design team. So being able to work with the design team to highlight that if they change now, the future will be easier for them. So it's like a more of a waterfall campaign rather than just like a rockier campaign. And that way it just makes it easy for marketing as well as design. So actually that came to life by not only they just had to press pause, you don't have to delete the entire campaign. They just press pause on the campaign that they were working and then just flip the switch and work on a later campaign. So we just rearranged the launches. Now, in doing so, I built trust with them because at the end of the day, after the 12-week campaigns, it all worked out. But I really had to push on why this made sense and highlight why, for example, just changing the messaging of part of the campaign was crucial for this kind of phase of the campaign, and then we brought it out to all to life. So overall, it just worked out because it was a smooth transition, it was a smooth operation and a smooth launch, and the results were fine. And the messaging was cohesive. That was the main message, just making messaging cohesive for the end user so that we can attract new leads. So being able to just, I think relatability, as you mentioned, relatability and just compassionate um, messaging really helps when dealing with internal or external stakeholders. So I find that this is just a nice way to really manage expectations and just level the playing field for all parties involved.
Mm, got it. Better answer than before. I'm curious to know, so is the main pushback that they were already working on another campaign? And what was your reasoning? Like, why the switch?
The main reason for the switch was just a change in the overall product roadmap, and then that came from just new insights that we had found from the customer data. So essentially, it was just a change in messaging and the flow of messaging, and then we just found that it was a lot better for the overall goal of the campaign. So being able to just bring that data, hard data to the design team and just highlight where kind of the ABC falls, the new ABC order falls, it really helped them just understand our point of view, and we weren't just giving them orders, we were just working with them to rearrange things and just overall provide a better all-encompassing campaign rather than just three separate parts. So doing so really helped us out to just provide the hard data and have that hard data to back up our overall just reasoning.
Got it.
Yeah.
Were there any pushback from them? Did they say, why didn't you tell us earlier?
Yeah, definitely
Like,
pushback
yeah.
on future, like just to learn for the future. Just definitely don't do that again. And we
Mhm.
definitely learned a reason or learned a lesson, sorry, and we work a lot better now. So it's nice.
Got it. And what was that new process that you agreed on in the future?
Yeah, new process, just clear comms as much as possible, whether it's via Slack or just overall on Figma, and just being able to communicate all changes with them. And then we onboarded the design teams for ideation of the campaigns so that at least one person from design could come in and just provide their input so that it's not like a very siloed approach, but it's more
Mm,
overall just cohesive and co-working.
got it. Yeah, yeah. what you just shared, that's like the gold nuggets, right?
Okay.
So what you just shared about context, like
Okay.
priorities change because you have new customer insights, right? And then how did you convince the design team? I think you can also highlight, hey, we're on the same team, that we
Yeah.
have the same customer, we are adapting based on the customer insights. It's not because you want to have a new idea. So I
Right.
think that is another nugget. And then the final
Okay.
nugget you shared was the new process of incorporating them into future discussions.
Okay.
So I think those are the, if you, yeah, those are like the goal that the interviewer is looking
Okay.
for is
Yeah.
okay, that's how you navigated the change.
Yeah. Thank you.
Let's say Etsy has a mobile app, right? But mobile app adoption has been lagging behind desktop usage.
Mhm.
How would you design a marketing campaign to drive more mobile app installs and increase engagement?
When it comes to those website users, I definitely target the users that are more active on the website platform. So just being able to target in two segments, more active users alongside just the not so active users. So I just primarily target with a three-prong approach around awareness, incentives, and retention. So making them aware that there's a new app. So the power users, they're going to be very interactive with the Etsy platform. So just making them aware that there's the app via any type of ads via Instagram, via TikTok, as well as email. As you mentioned, doesn't have to be paid. So in this case, email. So making sure that they are aware of the app and then just incentivizing them to hop on with testimonials, different app features, benefits, and just really targeting their key demographic there, especially for the power users. For the not so power users, just letting them know that there's an app that they can use. Go hop on Etsy on the go, shop while you're on the go, and then be able to highlight the new features of the app. So that's on the awareness side. On the incentive side, with just launching in-app perks, so being able to notify those power users especially, but also the not so power users about early access sales on the app, different push notifications once they're on the app for deals, rewards, and just overall rewards for the first time download. So being able to just successfully drive that feature adoption is important. And for the not so power users, I would look around just letting them know that there's also the app and then they have incentives as well, but try and segment the incentives for the power users and for the not so power users, so just overall gain more traction. Then on the retention side, I would ensure that the in-app experience is smooth, looking at potentially gamification, maybe just trying to hit a bingo card on the app or something like that, making sure that they insert their payment information or like build out their profile in full, follow the right stores in full, and then just set milestones for usage. For example, congratulate them when they've hit their fifth purchase, their 10th purchase, or they explored a new segment within the app. And then be able to just bring those personalized touch points to the users to enhance that customer engagement. So that goes for both the power users and the not so power users. And then on the retention side, ensuring just metrics for success, looking at just the download rates. Are people are not only downloading the app, but are they converting from the emails? Are they having really good engagement sessions? How long are these sessions? How is the retention over 14, 30, 60, 90 days? And the install and uninstall rates, and how does that compare? And ideally, just be able to bring a case to further bring in-app promotions if those numbers are good, bring further in-app promotions, bring further maybe app exclusive stores that are just built for that experience and potentially segmented based on different customers. For example, if there's anything around knitting or like silverware or woodwork, for example, just to really promote those different segments. So yeah, I'd use awareness, incentives, and retention as just like a quick triangle to bring people onto the app and not necessarily away from the computer, the web, but just make sure that they stay on the app and they use the app as much as possible and just overall also listen to their feedback as the last step. So that's how I would attract more users to the Etsy app and ideally bring them and keep them on.
Awesome. I'm curious to know, you mentioned the power users and the
Mhm.
non-power users. Which one would you focus on first and why?
Yeah, first I would focus on the power users because they are bought into the Etsy ecosystem. Their accounts are fully set up. They likely even have a profile picture. They have the payment info. They have their address, everything set up so that they can really just try and browse on the platform. Additionally, since they are power users, I would say that they're more likely to be vocal and provide us with success. So if you ever have a survey at the end of a purchase or at the end of the day, letting them know, are you enjoying the app? Rate us 5 stars. Do you have any feedback? They're likely to be vocal. And that way we can make the experience more seamless for those not so power users. So I'd really focus on the power users to really just get that engagement and core audience to flourish, and then bring in the medium users. Yeah.
Got it. And what channel, if you can focus on one channel to reach
Yeah.
those power users to drive installs,
Mhm.
what channel would you use?
Yeah, I would definitely do email primarily, because if they order on the website, they're going to get an email to their Gmail inbox or any Outlook, any provider. They're going to get an email, and also in website or in app, like on the web client, just in app notifications and prompting them with QR codes alongside just the same promotion that they would see in their email.
Got it. And what would be the main hook in the email to
Hmm.
get them to install the app? You mentioned
Oh,
a
that's
bunch of different
yeah,
potential hooks,
yeah.
but which
And
one would you
yeah,
experiment?
an incentive, I could A/B test. I'd like to A/B test a percentage and a coupon, like a percentage discount alongside a dollar amount coupon. I'd love to A/B test that, see how the people react, see how the users react to different types of discounting and different types of messaging, alongside just try and create new perks for the app itself, whether it's not necessarily faster delivery, but a more personalized approach. And then just maybe with the gamification side on the app, include the celebrations, or just even like full screen mobile alerts or full screen mobile celebrations that you wouldn't get on the web client. Something like that's a little bit more immersive and allows them to just spend more time on the app while still enjoying it and not straying too far away from the original experience.
Mm. What would be like let's talk about the messaging part. You said
Yeah.
A/B test, discount codes, and then you want to A/B test messaging. What messaging would you want to test? Maybe just two different messaging.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
what pain points would they solve for someone who only has a desktop and not the mobile app?
On the first one, on the A/B testing, I would definitely look at shopping on the go, like shop on the go with Etsy, and then even personalize it with a previous purchase that they've had. So that's like A, and B would be like around like a percentage discount, like shop on the go, or just like, here's 25% off. See which one works. Obviously, like a percentage off might work better, but you never know with the current users and depending on how you segment it. And could you repeat your second question?
Yeah, so maybe talk more about the messaging, not the
Oh yeah.
discount, just the messaging. What
Yeah.
two messaging? You mentioned shop on a go could be one.
Yeah.
So
Shop on the
that's,
go. And
and
for,
what's
for
the name?
example, a discount for our most loyal users. Hey John, you're very loyal to us. Here's 25% off. In-app only.
Is there like another messaging that is not discount related that
Yeah,
you
like shopping on the go with Etsy. For example, browse your favorite stores now on in-app, now available on iOS or Android.
got it? Okay, cool. I think yeah, this answer it's pretty good. I really liked that you segmented the users into power and non-power users. I like the different ideas you had, gamification, discount, getting notifications early, shopping on the go, and then you tied those back to each of the segments. What feedback do I have to make it even better? Maybe provide just a little bit of macro perspective and micro perspective. This is what I
Okay.
mean. So macro level, you could say to help the interviewer like me, right? You could say in the beginning, you could say, hey, I would like to answer my question in the form of my target audience, my channels, and my messaging.
Mm,
Boom,
okay.
you set up the structure. Now I know what you're going to talk about. Secondly, you can be like, all right, for my users, I want to focus on existing users only because then as an interviewer, I know that for the rest of the conversation, you're only going to talk about them because for someone like me, I might be thinking, oh, when is he going to talk about new users? Are we going to market this to new users? But I think that would be one. The second part is micro. So you mentioned all the channels messaging. Just mention briefly, hey, but if I were to prioritize, I would focus on this segment, I would focus on email because it's the most cost effective. And I would focus on testing discount codes only because that is the highest conversion rate. And
Okay.
then I would measure that. That is not necessarily to say you're not going to do anything else, but it's
Hmm.
mainly to show the interviewer you have a way of prioritizing.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
otherwise, great answer.
Yeah.
No, yeah, good job.
Thank you. Yeah, I really liked your follow-up questions. It really built a conversation rather than just like a grilling session. So that was pretty nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh, cool. I think that's all the questions I had. Do you have any
amazing.
questions about the interview questions itself?
No, honestly, we had a great conversation and I really do appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, Henry.